Down, down, out. What's up, everybody? You are tuned into the Elks Call, your home for Edmonton Elks fan talk. My name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Duven Elks.
Coming to you live on Shotgun Sports Network with the replay airing exclusively on Edmonton Sports Talk. Kathy, it is our final episode of Season 3, and the Grey Cup is over. Thanks for co-hosting the party there on Sunday.
Yes, of course.
It was a blast. I know we're gonna get all sentimental about the show later on, but it's been a ride. It's been very fun.
It has been. It feels like it went by too quickly.
Too quickly,
in a way.
Yeah.
In a way, like in many ways it went by slow, but in many ways it just flew right by.
Some weeks were slow, but then we had some great stretches as well as Double E fans. And the fun's not over yet. We have a very exciting show up ahead for everybody, and we can't thank you enough for riding with us. Hit the like, subscribe, and favorite buttons, as that is how you show your love around here. All right. Show schedule is as follows. We are going to open up this show with the More You Didn't Know, where we chat with our guest. Next, we're going to give you Kathy's Herd Report, where we bring you the latest news and transactions from Double E Land. And I guess we're going to talk about a Grey Cup, the 112th Grey Cup, that is. After that, we're going to give you an Edmonton sports update. Then we're going to play some green or gold, our spin on hot or not. And then finally, we will open up the fan forum, where we talk about hot topics surrounding the Edmonton Elks and the CFL world as a whole. We're interactive, which means our viewers can comment and ask questions in the herd chat. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, YouTube, which is Shotgun Sports Network, LTD. Facebook, that's going to be at the Elks Herd. Let's get this show rolling with the More You Didn't Know, where we chat with our guest. This segment is brought to you by Royal Retros. Save 10% off your order by using code Shotgun Sports, all caps, no spaces. They are the throwback kings. They got that CFLPA merchandise and CFL inspired merch. So go check it out. We love Royal Retros. We know you will too. But without further ado, please welcome to the show DB coach and community ambassador for the Double E and 2015 Grey Cup champion, number 36. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Aaron Grymes. Thanks for joining us tonight, Aaron.
Do you get introduced like that everywhere you go?
No, that was special right there. I like that.
I feel like everybody should introduce you like that.
I felt like a wrestler, like I was coming out. That was my intro right there.
Dang, yeah, that would. We should have had some better graphics or something to go with that. Aaron, thanks a lot for your time tonight. Did you happen to watch the Grey Cup on Sunday?
Of course, I watched the Grey Cup on Sunday. I wouldn't miss it.
You don't get those like salty vibes where your team's out and you're refusing to watch.
No salty vibe for me. A lot of respect for the people in the game, but also I like to envision us in the game. And I'm watching two teams that we went 1-1 on the season within our series. So it just gives me a little belief, a little motivation going into next year.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, we're going to talk a little bit about that because, there are definitely some steps made this year for the Double E, and
Yes.
You're a big part of that. So obviously we wish the Double E was in there much like 10 years ago, but for today, we're thankful for your time. Viewers, if you're watching live, please be sure to throw your comments and questions into the herd chat, and we will do our best to get them onto the show. But question number one here, Aaron, going to start getting into the heavy hitters here. We like to get to know our guest off the hop. You were born and raised in Washington, down south, growing up as a West Coast kid in Seattle. So what started your path as a young athlete?
In Seattle, obviously we had at the time, all the major sports in terms of what we were looking at. So we had the Mariners. We had Seahawks, and we had the Sonics still at the time. We didn't have the Kraken just yet, but so for me, sports has always been a big thing. And, my dad, our family sport actually growing up was baseball. So I started playing baseball when I was 6. And the biggest thing, for my parents was just that bored kids, they get in trouble, especially in the inner city, right back home. So we are going to stay busy, we are going to be active, and we played sports year round. And it was always a different sport. So football had a season, basketball had a season, baseball had a season. You had a little bit of time during the summer to just, ride your bikes. Or honestly, we were still playing sports. I come from a big family, so me and my cousins, we'd be at grandma's house playing sports during the summertime. So for me, that competitive edge, it started extremely early, and obviously, I don't plan on it leaving me anytime soon.
Which one was your favorite growing up?
I thought I was going to be like the next Ken Griffey Jr. or Ichiro Suzuki growing up. And then I got to high school, and a lot of my friends stopped playing baseball, and it got a little bit slow for me as well. So on the freshman team in high school, after my freshman year, I stopped playing, and my dad was a little bit devastated, because that was his sport. But he was like, "Well, what else are you going to do? Because you're not just going to stop and sit around the house and get yourself in trouble, essentially." So I started running track. My football coach convinced me to run track, work on my speed for football, and I think it was a good decision. Now looking back on it.
Gotta ask, what was your track sports?
I was a sprinter, so I did the 100 to 200 to 4x1, and then my senior year I did the long jump as well. But I hate running, but I can run in short distances. So even now as a retired athlete, like things like striders and anything where I can go, I'd rather go hard for 100 meters or 40 yards, and then let me get a break before I have to go again.
Oh, I feel that. I absolutely hate running with a passion, even in
Yeah.
short sprints. So that's just a passion right there. Hate. But so you said that you went to high school in West Seattle, and then you played for the Idaho Vandals. 246 total tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 16 passes defended in 49 games. What were your favorite moments as an Idaho Vandal?
Oh my. You make me feel old now. I gotta get back into the memory box there. The number one thing that sticks out to me is my freshman year we won a bowl game. So that was kind of cool coming into it that way. And then really the friendships I made there, to be able to move away from my home city, meet people from all over the place. Shout out to Coach Akey. Coach Rob Akey, he's the one who brought me into Idaho, and I was able to meet. I still have group chats, with a lot of my teammates, and I stopped playing at Idaho in 2012, right? But those connections, those brotherhoods are lifelong. Obviously, I met my wife there, things like that. So for me, it was the biggest thing was just getting a chance to compete. That's what I've always wanted. And I know I've talked to you guys about that before, but for anybody else, just, being born and raised in Seattle, Washington, I actually had a scholarship offer to the University of Washington, who was in the Pac-10 at that time. And Coach Tyrone Willingham got fired, new coach came in, and they just didn't want to give me the same opportunity. They said they'd honor my scholarship, because I was a local guy, I had already committed, so they were going to do their part on that end, and I respect that, but the opportunity on the field wasn't going to be the same. And so I decommitted, and my mom and my dad gave me some good advice at the time. And they were like, well, you want to play post, you want to be a professional at some point, and you got to get somewhere where you can play. Because if you're not going to play at, Washington, then nobody's going to see you. If you go to Idaho, you can play right away, or they're going to at least let you compete to play right away. And if you're good enough, then teams will find you. So that's kind of how I ended up making one of the best decisions of my life.
That's amazing. And, it's kind of interesting. We kind of see that as well in the NFL to the CFL and opportunities, right? And opportunity to play. And it's cool that your parents guided you in the direction that they did, because obviously, you had a great tenure with the Double E on and off after college. Now, you did sign with the Double E almost right after college. Weren't NFL drafted or anything like that, but once again, you did have a lengthy career, especially up here in Canada. So how did that come about? How did that path to the CFL happen?
You guys are kind of writing this story. This is a great transition. So another thing that happened when I went to Idaho was, the first couple of years, my DB coach was Coach Lively, who I still speak with as well. So shout out to Coach Lively. But then my last couple of years, Torrey Hunter was my defensive back coach. He came over from Eastern Washington University. And for those who know, Torrey Hunter is an Eskimo alumni. And so he asked me, coming out of college, there were some NFL teams just kind of poking around, showing some interest in me, but didn't quite have the stats or the film to make that jump right away. And he knew that. And so he asked me, if I would want to go play football in the Canadian Football League. And I didn't know anything about the CFL at the time, but I knew that they were going to offer me a contract. Like I was going to get to play football and get paid to play football. And that's, again, it goes back to leaving Washington to come to Idaho. I just wanted an opportunity to show that I was good enough to do it. And without decommitting from Washington to go to Idaho, and then Coach Hunt being there my last 2 years, he played with Ed Hervey back in the early 2000s, right? So that's how I got my foot in the door. I think I signed with Edmonton like early May, like a week before training camp started. And I came in and I was like a 4-string DB, American DB who didn't know anything about a waggle or anything. But I was surrounded by some good veterans. Obviously, I had a hell of a GM that I still have a lot of respect for, and I got a chance to make a career out of it. So it was a blessing.
That's great. That's cool. That's cool to hear. And it's those opportunities that you just gotta, who passes on a scholarship for the chance to play professional football? And not a lot of people would, right? So it was taking a leap of faith, and thankfully you had your parents backing you up, and it turned out to be a fantastic decision. And that led, as Scout said, to a lengthy career and some really memorable moments, mostly the 2015 magical year for the Double E, with the Eskimos bringing a championship back to the city of Edmonton. So what was it like being part of a group that went from 3 or 4 wins to the playoffs the following year, and then the Grey Cup the year after?
It was huge. It really showed me that, in this league specifically, both with how contracts are structured and just how small rosters are, the margin, for error or victory is pretty small, right? You just mentioned, I think we won 4 games my rookie year, and we were 12-6 and playing in the West Final my second year. Obviously there was a new coach in town, but the biggest thing also now being on the coaching side of things is the organization that you're with, and the people who are running the organization and the decisions that are being made. Those all play a huge factor. There's a trickle-down effect, 100%. And I do believe Ed Hervey being in and bringing the right guys in and hiring a staff that can get the job done played a huge role in that, because for the most part the guys were in the locker room. Like when I got here, my rookie year, Odell was here, Mike Riley was here, J.C. Sherritt was here, Mondo was here, Darius Bowman was here. You know what I mean? I was a rookie, and in that second year there was a couple of additions from the personnel department, but the core, like the people you really remember from that Grey Cup game, I would say probably 90% of them were here. We're already in town, and so just a couple of tweaks, people making the right decisions, really helped us take that leap. You know what I mean? And to becoming the Grey Cup champions. And so I get a little bit excited when I talk about it, because I'm talking about a lot of the same names and faces you still see around the building right now.
And it's so special, right? We know what Ed Hervey and Chris Morris is doing here, what Larry Thompson has laid out for his foundation. Obviously, Deb is going to see through that vision, but it's great to see you guys all stick together. And we did have Matt O'Donnell on recently. We talked about it, and we had Odell earlier on in the season, and it's cool to see you guys stick around Edmonton. We do have a question about that later on, so I don't want to dig into it too much. As far as the 2015 Grey Cup goes, what was your favorite game besides the Grey Cup?
Wow. My very last game I played in, like everybody knows, I dealt with a lot of injuries the last couple of years. I actually spent every game on the IR my last 2 seasons, but my last game being healthy was in BC, and I got an interception, and it happened to be on my oldest daughter's birthday. So we played on November 19th in BC. My last game I ever played in, I had an interception, and I gave my daughter the game. She was in the crowd, and I was able to give her that interception ball for her birthday. She slept with it that night. It's still in her room to this day. That was 2021. So that, yeah, 4 years ago now, and she still has that ball. So that's the number. That's a memory that sticks out to me and will stick with me for the rest of my life.
That's so beautiful.
Oh,
I
that's
love
so
it. I love it.
cute.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I mean, your daughter's sweet. Been fortunate enough to meet her in the tailgate. So, yeah, you guys are a great family. Now, getting back to our timeline here, 2016, the NFL did come calling, and you signed with the Philadelphia Eagles in the CFL offseason. You did see some game action. I mean, unfortunately for Philly, you saw a release and return to Edmonton, their loss, our gain. But, man, how cool was it to make the majors?
It was a dream come true. It really was. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I've been really lucky, I guess, fortunate, whatever word you want to use. Because when I went to Philly, I also was surrounded by very good veterans, a really good coach. Actually, my DB coach, who was there that year, both of them are in Houston right now. So they're coaching the game that's being played at this moment. But Coach Corey Unlin he took a chance on me and really took the time to help me learn the game and make sure that I had the best chance to make the team. And it's probably a big reason that I stayed there for at least one season. And I can still reach out to him to this day when he's not busy and there's not a Thursday night game going on. But I've communicated with him since coaching to ask questions, just advice, things like that. And he still reaches out to me, so, and that doesn't always happen, like, especially for guys like that who see thousands of athletes a year. And somebody who wasn't there for quite long enough to really build a relationship like that. He still takes those phone calls and those text messages. And I had some very good veterans, Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod, guys like that who, they were so comfortable and confident in their skill set that they didn't mind sharing their notes or their thoughts and things like that with me. Because to them, they want everybody in that room to operate at a high level. And that's really probably why they won the Super Bowl the next year, right? Is because of that chemistry they had in that room and that confidence they had. And so it was a dream come true for me. Another crazy memory, I'm a huge family guy, you guys know that, is my wife and my daughter's first NFL game they ever went to, I played in Philadelphia at the Link. So that was cool.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
I remember I was over at Clint's and I watched that game. Yeah, because it was the first game that you'd elevated to the ring. I was like, man, we gotta watch Aaron Grymes. We gotta see what this guy does. So, yeah, Sammy, remember that one. Obviously, you have such a fantastic memory about it, right? And it was just really special, man. Really special to see one of the Double E make it to the NFL. And I mean, Double E are usually pretty good at producing athletes like that, but you have to be the athlete to do that. So always proud of that one. Always proud to see you do that, man.
Yeah. And the connections, the knowledge, that's all invaluable, right? And it's still helping you to this day. But back to the questions. Despite stints in 2 other CFL teams, you played the rest of your on-turf career with the Double E. Why Edmonton?
For me, it was the place that took a chance on me. In this business, pro sports in general, you hear a lot of bad stories. And so when you do find a place and you do find people who show you loyalty and they show you love and they show you respect, you got to honor that kind of stuff. And Edmonton has always been that for me. This is a city that really took my family in, even from a rookie. I've shared stories of like losing my wife's phone and a few days later, that family calling me and apologizing that they didn't find it sooner, like it was their fault. Just things like that. If that was back home, that phone would have been the SIM card would have been taken out. It would have been on, some sort of website for sale within 30 minutes. You just don't find that kind of stuff everywhere like you do here. It's a town that truly cares about its sports teams, and our organization has caught a lot of flack the last few years. And to be honest, rightfully so. The people here, they want to see their team succeed. They want to support their teams. And the teams just got to give them something to get behind. And I like that. I really do. Somebody said I played in a couple other spots, and not everywhere is like that. And when I got here, it was being run the right way, and it's being run the right way currently as well. Just that Eskimo way, right? That family, that brotherhood. You see the opportunity that a lot of these ex-players and these alumni around town are doing. I get to do events with Trent Brown and Gizmo Williams. I get to coach camps with Jed Roberts. Like Ed Hervey is my boss. Chris Morris is his boss. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff is extremely cool to me. And you just can't pass up on opportunities like that. So Edmonton is a place that I live now year round, and I own a house.
Oh, so good. Let's talk about that a little bit, because we know you're a big Edmonton guy. We did talk to you in an interview a couple of years ago about that. You're here year round. You live here full time now. You are an Edmontonian. So you did try out with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers near the end of your playing career, which was a very valiant effort coming back from that injury. After being released from the practice roster, you did sign a one-day with the Edmonton Elks to retire as a member of the Double E. Immediately after that, you were signed on as a DB coach and community ambassador for the Double E. So was coaching something you had considered previously?
Yeah, absolutely. Coaching, actually scouting was something that I was really interested in as well. Just because, I think about like family time, and now that I know more about both sides of it, they both have their ups and downs, right? They both have time with the family and time, away from the family. But I knew that sticking around the sport was something that I wanted to do, more importantly. And then, meeting guys like Torrey Hunter, ex-player, right? And then meeting Ed Hervey, and then being able to sit down in his office and have 1-2 hour long conversations, throughout the seasons, and just learning the game and where he came from and how he got his start, and and just taking all that information from those guys and trying to make it my own. And so that's kind of how I am where I am now.
And you've done amazing, right? Even in this role with the Double E, the play has been getting better. And you have the experience. So we also know that you've done multiple drills in the past, mini camps, things like that, right? So it's really cool. It's really special, obviously, to still see you out there in a capacity with the Double E, but not just ambassador, you're also coaching the team on the turf. We do see some questions in the herd chat. We will get to those. Let's get to them now. Let's break this up a little bit. And then we have some fun questions, Aaron. It's not all business.
I like it.
We do have a comment from Ryan Nervous. Jace says hi. Also to Scout and Catherine, but we don't matter right now.
Aaron Grymes is a guest, so
that's from Jace. I know the family is celebrating hard.
Yes, the Nervous family, loving Riders Grey Cup win.
We also have a question from Pierre.
All right, Pierre. First year completed as a coach after being a player. Was there anything about coaching that you didn't appreciate as a player?
Oh, yeah. If I'm understanding the question correctly, one thing, like as a player, I really thought that I put a lot of time in, and based on the CFL rules, you could argue I did put quite a bit of time in. But these coaches, like, we live at the stadium for 7 months out of the year minimum. Early in the year, like there's nights or days. Like I'll leave the house before my youngest daughter is awake, and I'll get home when my youngest daughter is sleeping. And that's something that I wasn't oblivious to as a player, but I just didn't think about it that much, and so certainly as a coach now, like I have a huge appreciation for the hours and the time that's put in, to what's going on. Certainly for this staff, I haven't been on very many staffs. I don't know how everybody operates, but Edmonton right now has a staff that will do what it takes, to turn things around on the field, and I'm living it. I'm watching it, and I really appreciate the opportunity to see this side of it, because it's nice to start out on a staff like this, because now I don't know any other way. All we know now is the hours have to be put in for the results to happen on the field, and it's kind of cool to see.
Definitely. That reminds me of, when you become a parent for the first time and then you have to write your mom and be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great point. It's just like that.
Sorry for all the times that I took you for granted.
Yeah. Very.
No doubt.
I get that one too, actually.
Yeah.
Follow-up question by Pierre. The WE secondary took a major step forward or an improvement around game 7-ish this year. So what was the biggest difference from your perspective?
I think it was just learning from both sides. Me learning as a coach, us learning as a defensive staff, and the players, learning as well. When you're overhauling a culture and a foundation, not everything is going to hit right away. And I fell victim to the hype in the offseason as well. With all the new changes, so many great faces, the right people in the right spots, and thinking like, okay, we're coming out and guns a-blazing. And that certainly was the plan. You know what I mean? But realistically, that's when you're building something that's meant to last, it doesn't happen like that. And so I certainly had to learn how to be more effective communicating to the players. The players had to learn what I was asking of them as a coach, as opposed to as their teammate. And the biggest thing is I feel like we started to create an environment where we cared about each other. We loved coaching and playing with each other. We loved playing the brand of football that the coaching staff was trying to put back on the field, and we all bought into that. And you can, selfishly or biasedly, I should say, you can kind of see that, when you watch the games. It was people flying around trying to make plays.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that cohesion came to you guys in that second half, right? And I know that we had talked about that about the year previous in 2024. We saw a lot of the same things, but it's the continuity now under the same coaching regime. This is a set roster of coaches here. There's a set plan moving forward, and there's no more uncertainty, right? So it's great to see the foundation that you guys built on the turf. It's great to also see, Tyrell Ford returning, some of the weapons that you get to coach as well on your side of the fence.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys like T Ford, I just seen, KJ also added another year to his contract. That also makes you feel good too, because now you feel like, the environment is what I remember it being. Like, people don't want to leave Edmonton. Once they come here, they realize, okay, this is a spot where we could really flourish, and we can play. And you look at a guy like T Ford, like if you were to look statistically, interception wise specifically, like, his interceptions were down year over year compared to where he was at the previous year, but he was playing damn good ball, and he was tackling well, and he was getting better, and he really bought into what we were asking him to do as well. And you just want to keep creating the environment where people like that want to come here and play. And you want, even players who may leave, you want the word to be, yeah, I like Edmonton. Like, obviously I'm not there anymore, and I'm happy where I'm at, but my time there, I got nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, not like in the Grey Cup where we see these repeated shots at Dave Dickinson. Luckily, we haven't seen anything like that since Kenny Lawler a couple of years ago. And, we're well past that point of 2022 double E.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's great to see there's real improvement with what's happening there. And the fact that guys are buying in, like you just said, you could tell that there was a buy-in factor there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead, my bad.
Sorry. Yeah, but I think that one of the biggest factors that I have seen in terms of improvement of the team is that it's no longer a revolving door, which we have seen in the past few years.
Or
Now you're
individuals playing for their jobs,
100%. You're seeing that cohesion, you're seeing that chemistry, and it's really exciting to watch. I think I've mentioned it before that if we manage to start the season in the same spot that we finished, it's just going to be an amazing season because we still get to grow and it's going to be great. So it's exciting. I'm excited.
You and me both. You and everybody else in that building. You know, and like you said, that cohesion, right? It's when I talked about the environment of truly caring about the person you play next to, because you have to be able to communicate and you got to understand what page somebody else is on. And when there's such a revolving door, one, you don't know who you're playing next to, you know, and two, you're worried you might be the next one replaced. So now it's like, well, I just need to do whatever I can do for myself to make sure I don't get in. It's I, me, versus how do we put the best 12 people on the field at a time to give this organization the best chance to succeed and play our brand, the double E brand of football, you know, that Edmonton way. And you're starting to see that kind of stuff. And I think that, you know, the players are feeling respected by the staff, because we certainly do. Like I told the defensive back room, you know, Coach Nez and both of I truly care about you guys, and I got your guys' back. I just need you guys to have my back, you know, when it's time to have my back as well. And it's a two-way street. You know, it's not a dictatorship in this room. And I think it took a little bit of time for them to realize, like, okay, you know, I'm sure every coach says that, you know, but who really means it? Who's gonna back those words up with action? And then when you start to see it, you start to kind of see that cohesion. And I talked to you guys about my old coaches and reaching out to them, and how I've just been very fortunate to be around some of the good ones. I was speaking with my old college head coach. He's at Oregon State now, Coach Akey. So thank you for this, Coach Akey. He said, you know, you take care of the players and the rest takes care of itself. And I feel like we truly did that and try to do that this year, and we're going to continue to be even better at it next year.
Well, and you can also tell when you go to the team store and staff members are buzzing and players are buzzing and Dwayne Mandrusiak swings in, and you know, it's becoming more of a coffee stop. It's more of a, hey, swing in and come say hi and shoot the breeze, and it's more of a family. It's that community piece. I think, you know, why you're one of our favorites. Sure, you've been around this organization for a while and you've done some great things, but there's a personability about you where, you know, we can come up and shoot the breeze, and I can slip up on my words, or I can completely bomb an interview or whatever. And no matter what, you're still going to be extremely easygoing about it. We can talk candid off record and whatever else, but there's that personability about you, which, you know, Jed Roberts has, Trent Brown, like some of the names that you had mentioned earlier. You know, what do these all have in common? Niles Morgan as well. You know, like there's certain pieces, certain players, certain members of the organization that are also glue for all of this. And you're one of those, man. So, you know, thanks a lot for sticking around Edmonton for so long, calling it home. And of course, obviously being here with us right now, but it's fantastic to see where you're at now in the city, in the organization. And we're always going to celebrate that.
I appreciate that. I do, you know, and my biggest thing, and it's something that I've heard, obviously, and so I'm stealing it, and I'm going to say it, you know, to any young athletes who might be hearing this. You know, when you get people and alumni and veterans around you like that, and they give you so much knowledge in game, first and foremost, you need to take it in. You know, you're not going to use all of it, but there's going to be some gems in there. And then secondly, that advice is only as good as the next person you give it to, right? So don't gatekeep that information. You know, there's enough out there for all of us to eat and all of us to learn. So, you know, I wouldn't be where I am without the advice of the people before me. And Edmonton has my word that I'm giving all that advice back to every single player that walks through that building right now.
Love it. I'm ready to run through a wall now. Let's throw some pass. All right, we do have some fun questions here before we let you go. All right, so 2015 player Aaron Grymes going into big games versus 2025 Coach Grymes. Okay. Playlist. What were you listening to 2015?
Ooh, 2015. Oh man, the first thing that pops up was like early days Nipsey Hussle for me. I'm a big West Coast guy, so probably has some Nipsey Hussle playing. Might have had like some sort of, whatever the locker room was listening to at the time. Probably would have been going crazy for me. But when we got back in from warm-ups and it was time to really lock in for the game, I had to turn on some Nipsey Hussle for sure.
Love it. And then what are you listening to now?
Now I'm still a West Coast guy, but I'm probably listening to. They got a West Coast playlist on Apple now. Things have changed a little bit, so I can just turn that on. But if I need artist specific, I'll probably go with like Mozzie or Rex Life Raj, because he speaks. He raps and he speaks about real life stuff, and that's kind of where I come from. But it's the same mindset. You go out there, I still get the butterflies. So
love it. I'm gonna have to.
Little Kendrick.
You're
Obviously, got to put some Kendrick on there.
Just a little bit of Kendrick,
Some Kendrick, some Mozzie, some Rex, things like that. Yeah.
Rex. Okay.
Getting some recommendations
Hey,
here. Writing it down.
My records right here. Gotta listen to what Grimes is listening to, man. All right. Next one, game day tradition. So 2015. Did you have any big traditions?
It's crazy. It's 2015. I did. Like I would go to. If it was a weekend game, my family was up here. We'd probably go to Tutti Frutti for breakfast or something like that, especially because kids eat for free on Saturday. So I was trying to save $1. I think it's Saturday. Probably like stop by Subway or something like that on the way to the stadium. We kicked a lot of ass that year, so we would celebrate late games, of course. We celebrate with some McDonald's. I tried to do that same tradition in 2018, and 2018 started really well. And then it went really not well. We ended up missing the playoffs by a game. And then I realized this McDonald's is not the trick. I thought this post-game McDonald's was it. I thought Tutti Frutti was it. So yeah, it's weird. I have, later in my career started to realize, and even as a coach now, like those kind of traditions don't matter quite as much. That's when I start telling people I'm a little bit stitious, but I'm superstitious.
Just a little stitious.
So modern day, today, present day, you've dropped all the traditions.
Ish, yeah. The it's more work habit traditions now. So like, how many scout cars did I draw last week? Did we win or did we lose? Because it was either good enough or it wasn't good enough, and you got to repeat that process. So
there's the little stitches. I like
stitches. Do you have a post game meal stop nowadays?
I don't now. Now it's more for the family. Like, where do you guys want to go? Also, because as a player, I came in the next day kind of whenever I wanted. As a coach, I got to be in. The film's got to be graded. The reports got to be done. They got to be sent in. And I need to be ready for the defensive staff meeting to watch the film again with the defensive staff. So there's some very late nights and very early mornings in the season time. So I don't really have, if we have an earlier game, I'll go out to eat with the family. But we're not stopping at McDonald's anymore, because if I'm going to pay $60 for a meal, I'm going to go sit down for it.
Fair.
Spitting truths over here. Alrighty. Hey, game day baby in the herd chat. This is Ken Chapka saying bone baby.
That's right. For life.
Great. So good. I guess guilty. One last question from my end. What's it like having Dwayne Mandruzak back? Like, did that make a big impact behind the scenes?
Absolutely, it does. You get a pillar in Double E football, like a legit legend in Wheezy. So it's great having him back. I love seeing him around the stadium. He always takes the time to not just speak to me. That's easy, because we spent hours together joking with each other and things like that. But then he's walking around the concourse and he sees my wife and kids and he remembers who they are. right? Like I couldn't tell you how many people Weezy has met throughout his tenure in Edmonton, but he remembers people, and it means something to him. And that is, when we talk about Edmonton and Bone and, once an Eskimo, always an Eskimo, Weezy, you talk about people who live and die and breathe, that kind of stuff, and then he's given stadium tours to season seat holders. And at least during the season, of course, we'd still be in there late at night when he was there. He'd come in and he'd see like, oh, AG, you got 4 or 5 minutes, come say hi. I got a group out here. Yeah, no problem. I'd love to. For a guy like you, yeah, let's make that happen. Not an issue. And then you always walk out there and you get some season seat holders who would just love to be there, and it kind of breaks up, that the boring, mundane task, whatever I was probably doing at my computer, gives me a chance to get up and have a little conversation. I like speaking to people, having a conversation, and probably eat some candy on my way back to my desk. A little sugar rush.
Oh, I love it. We won't take much more of your time here, Aaron. We really appreciate it. Where can our viewers find you online?
Online, like social media platforms?
Correct, yeah.
I'm on Instagram a little bit. Antarctic AG, I think _206 has my name still. On Twitter, Grymes36. I try to be more professional, you know what I mean? Because I got gray hair in my beard, and I got a kid who's almost a teenager, so I try to change my handles. Apparently, you can't change them after you make them. So
it's like those hotmails that just haunt.
Yeah, So if people wonder, like, well, what the hell does that mean on Instagram? Well, I was young once, and I'm cold blooded. I'm Antarctic AG 206. I
did wonder.
I've always wondered. Yeah,
what it is. I told myself I had ice in my veins, and 206. West Seattle's home is where I was born and raised. My parents still. I'll be there for Thanksgiving next week. Well, I tried to go in and change it. Coach Grymes now, and Instagram doesn't even have a help department, so it is what it is.
Oh, love it. I have wondered, so thank you.
There you go. There you go. You guys can roast me for it for the rest of our time knowing each other.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll bust out the breaking news button here. Yeah,
Aaron Grymes has ice in his veins.
AG, let's go. Great. Man, so good. Fantastic chat. Always love seeing you, whether it be in person or, of course, virtually as well. So, yeah, man, we really are appreciative. Can't thank you enough for your time tonight. We hope you have an amazing off season and holidays extended to the family as well. We can't wait to see you again, man.
Absolutely. Kathy Scout, you guys know I love speaking to you guys whenever I see you. I will say, you mentioned the holidays. So I'm gonna mention the holidays too. It's obviously a great time. I just mentioned I'll be back in Seattle for Thanksgiving with my family, in Idaho with my wife's family for Christmas. Not everybody gets to enjoy those times in the holidays. So if for anybody listening, you got a little spare time, a little spare change, do what you can. Lend a hand, lend a couple dollars to, a family in need, young kids in need, because we know how special these times are to us, whether it's breaking bread with your family or opening gifts with your kids. Not everybody really gets to experience it the same way that, I myself do. So, if you got a chance to get out there and fill a stocking or serve a meal, why not? Go spread some holiday cheer.
Love that.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Now I want to run through a wall and go donate somewhere. Great message. And we need to do more of that, I think, as a society. Yes. And that also is what makes you an Edmontonian. So, yeah, I love it, man. Great message. Awesome chat tonight. Always feel guilty for taking you longer than what we request for. So, I know Mike's all good stuff, but...
no apologies are needed for that kind of stuff. I'm the one over here blabbering.
No, we good, man. We good. Wish we could get you for hours, but once again, can't thank you enough, man. We will let you enjoy the rest of your night, but happy holidays, and once again, we can't wait to see you again, my man.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
Have a good night, Aaron.
Have an awesome night. Bye. And that was Aaron Grymes, number 36
Mhm.
of your Edmonton Elks and Edmonton Eskimos, formerly of.
Yes, we did see a couple of other questions. We apologize that we didn't get a chance to get to them. We only had half an hour with Aaron. We already took a little bit more time than that.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for your questions, and we'll pass them along.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see him again, right? Probably,
Mhm.
maybe we'll even try to have him on the show again next year.
Yeah,
because this is the season 3 finale of the Elks Call. A big shout out you. Shout out Aaron Grymes. Shout out you, the viewer, the listener. This is the Elks Call. You're rocking with the Elks Herd. Next up, we do have Kathy's Herd Report, where we talk recent news, transactions, and everything else, and Grey Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Today's Herd Report is brought to you by the Rouge, White, and Blue podcast. Oz and Joe have you covered on the latest happenings in the CFL from across multiple borders. Americans talking Canadian football. Rouge, White, and Blue, only on Shotgun Sports. Kathy, let's talk about this Grey Cup before we dig into the Elks transactions, because we do actually have some Elks news.
We have a little bit of, but yes, let's talk about the Grey Cup. Took 13 years, but Saskatchewan finally did it. They got their 5th Grey Cup after defeating the Montreal Alouettes 25-17.
5th Grey Cup. I mean, good for the Riders.
That's still going to be a chirp. I know it every time that we go. Whenever Saskatchewan is in the house, that's going to be a chirp. But
it's no longer 4-time Grey Cup. It's now 5-time Grey Cup. So
hey, slowly but surely, you never know.
But hey, you know what? They've won one more recently than the Double E, so therefore,
yes. Like we can't
say nothing.
We can't go too hard on those chirps just yet. So we gotta get another win on our belts, and then we can go back to the hard chirps.
Well, maybe in a year from now, we're talking about the Double E hoisting one of their own. But for today, I guess we'll talk about Owls versus Saskatchewan.
We'll talk about this one. The game opened up with a rouge.
Very Canadian.
Yeah, eat it up, Canadian friends.
Eat it up, eh?
Eat it up. At least it didn't end with one.
No.
Because the CFL would have been up in flames if that happened. Can you imagine?
We all know.
Can you imagine if the Grey Cup was won with a rouge?
Well, this is why they nerfed it.
I know,
they
but
really
people would go, oh my gosh, people would go crazy. But anyways, it opened up with one. So yay for Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. in some aspects of this game, it was a very even game.
Yeah.
Passing yards, 302 for Saskatchewan versus Montreal's 284.
Yeah.
93 rushing yards for Saskatchewan and 105 for Montreal.
Which was a story going in. Yeah. We talked about quarterback play and we talked about running backs. Mm-hmm. AJ Ouellette had critical runs in this.
Yes.
Like his rushing came at very good times.
Yes, he certainly did.
And Trevor Harris was almost perfect in his. Was he?
We do. I do have some stats on that. So let me get to it.
Yeah.
Net offense yards, 395 for Saskatchewan to Montreal's 389.
Very close.
So even time of possession was off only by a few seconds.
It was a very back and forth affair. I mean, this could be defined by a fumble. I know you're going to get into it.
But that's the thing. I don't think it wasn't even so much about the fumble, but it's also everything else that came. The main difference was number of interceptions, fumbles that Montreal had. And Saskatchewan capitalized on them.
Well, and the other thing, too, was the fact that Davis Alexander was injured.
Yes.
Davis Alexander's injury.
He went into this game saying that he was fine. A lot of players were saying, he's playing fine. He's practicing. He looks good. He went in. But I definitely think that he was rattled. I think that his hamstring injury was hurting him more than he let on, and it had a role on his lack of mobility, and he stayed very stationary for the first half.
Yeah, well, and even then, I think that when you're talking to the media about it, and anytime you completely underplay it, I think the media is making a bigger deal of this than what it is. Well, usually it's because the media should be making a bigger deal of it because it is actually a big deal. It's not then it is.
Of course. I mean, when it comes down to hamstring injuries, it's not something a lot of the time that you could just be like, oh, yeah, I'll take a couple of painkillers and I'm good.
Cortisone
Right?
shots.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that he had a few
He
of
was
those under
loaded
his
up,
belt. Like, he
yeah.
was loaded up on those, but
Yeah.
he was super stationary for the first half of the game. There was passing and rushing, not by him. And once he actually started moving, you could definitely see the discomfort.
Especially in that last rush.
Yes.
There was a rush in the fourth quarter where he was stepping pretty gingerly after.
Yes, and it was quite evident even after the 0-point second quarter that ended in an interception. Right? Like, there's from all the and see, here's the thing. We've seen a few Montreal games. We've seen Davis Alexander play, and not in any of those games he wasn't playing like that. He was mobile. He was on his game. 0-point second quarter on the Grey Cup. Like, that's something that you're like, oof, that's not necessarily the best. It doesn't give a lot of confidence at that point, unfortunately.
No.
He was 22 of 34 for passing and 284 yards with 2 rushes for 18 yards.
14
Jesus,
yards.
14 yards.
But the limping after,
Oh,
right,
man.
was the concern.
It was, yeah, you could see it. You know, he did it in 14 yards on rushes is not much when you think about it. And even after those short rushes that he had, he was limping.
Yeah, so very, very frustrating. And Saskatchewan, I think that Brett Lothar was also a story going into this one.
Yeah. Well, you know, he did miss a 39-yard boot with 6 minutes and 36 seconds remaining. And of course, there comes the play of the game. The play would seal the entire game. Montreal drove to the Riders' 3-yard line before cornerback Marcus Sales recovered the short yardage quarterback Shea Patterson's fumble at the 1-yard line.
What are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
What are you doing, man?
I mentioned this in the previous game. I did think that Saskatchewan was going to win it, but in my heart, I was hoping that Montreal was going to win it. And when you watch that, and I'm not a Montreal fan, and I was just like, holy, am I ever mad? Like, who does that?
Well, and that was 2:53 left on the clock. You didn't think that the game would be over, but you thought that Montreal just dug themselves a hole when they almost had that touchdown right there.
Oh, so close. And they could have, tied it? I'm pretty sure that could have tied it and have them go into overtime if they ended up getting that touchdown. And, of course, the comfort. But, yeah, after recovery on the end zone, it gave Saskatchewan the ball back at their 30-yard line with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining, as you said. It was a wild play. Like, Saskatchewan got lucky on that in many ways.
But
well,
hey,
I'm not going to say lucky because obviously there was something. I don't know.
Got to be good to get lucky. That's the saying.
No, and
right?
it wasn't lucky because there was the Saskatchewan, another cornerback that I forget his name, that he did push the ball out and before Sales recovered it. Right. So obviously that's not necessarily so much luck.
It's good effort.
You should have held on to that ball like it's a newborn baby and you don't want to drop it.
But hey, great effort by Saskatchewan, right?
Course.
And then, of course, bled down the clock. Montreal tried to fight back.
Yeah, they got their first downs. They managed their clock.
Yeah.
And it was enough to force Alexander to launch a Hail Mary that was broken up 6 yards deep into the end zone. So that was it. Trevor Harris did complete 23 of 27 passes. That is the Cup record with 85.2% completion average. He did great.
Former former Edmonton Eskimo and Edmonton Elk, Trevor Harris. I mean,
like, what do you do with it?
What do you do? Now AJ Ouellette, he ran for game high 83 yards and a touchdown. Game high. That's the most he's ever had in a game.
No, it was in this game. He had the most the highest.
Oh, the high. Oh, yeah, he ran the most. Okay,
he ran the most in this game.
Yeah, and I mean AJ Ouellette, you knew that he had to be a cog for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in order to win the Grey Cup They did.
Yeah.
Once again, congrats to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Trevor Harris, I mean, do we miss him here in Double E land? It's 2 teams ago now for Trevor Harris because he went to Montreal.
It's
right?
weird to think about that. Like now with the core that we have, do you think that Trevor Harris would succeed?
I think he would do better, yeah.
What he did a few years ago with the players that we had.
But now he's aged to the point where he's considering retirement. And
he was considering retiring last year too, but his parents were the ones that told him to play for one year.
And now he's got his cup. So do we see Trevor Harris move on in the offseason? Well, this isn't the Rider Pride or whatever we would call ourselves if we were a Riders page. So we're not going to speculate.
I think he might stick around.
Maybe
at least for another year.
Back.
I think he might want to go for a second
one.
Yeah,
run it back.
Yeah, run it back.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens there. But the off season is officially here for everybody, including us here at the Elks Call, but also the Double E. So let's talk about some Double E stuff.
Yeah, we did get some transactions. On November 19th, we extended American defensive back Cordell Jackson and national defensive lineman Noah Curtis.
Huge.
Yes, that's good. That's good. And do you know was it a 1-year extension or 2?
For
Cordell Jackson.
Ooh, good question.
I can't remember. It might have been just 1 year, but either way, they were extended.
Robbie Smith is too.
Yeah, November 20th, we had national defensive lineman Robbie Smith extended, and American defensive lineman Jordan Williams also extended.
Huge. That's that continuity we're looking for.
I love that. I love hearing that the shorter contracts that they had, the 1-year contracts, are being extended, because I absolutely hated that. I hated seeing that, as I mentioned, the revolving door of players just leaving and new players coming.
Oh, totally.
Going to fan day and just seeing a whole bunch of new faces. You're like, who are these people? Right? It's really, I think that's what it's also needed to make sure that they just continue improving.
Yeah, and I mean, Noah Curtis, unfortunately, he was injured this season, went down at fan day. Cordell Jackson, got to keep that guy. He's been lights out.
Yeah.
I will forever call myself, I don't know, not Miss Cleo, but some sort of fortune teller on that one, because I was watching Cordell Jackson when he came into the league. So I'm happy to see him stick around in Edmonton. It's amazing. He's a stud. Jordan Williams, not bad this year. Robbie Smith, in and out of the lineup. I am surprised about the Robbie Smith extension. He did struggle this year staying healthy. So, another 2 years, for Robbie Smith, which is very interesting as well. I wonder if he came down in price to have term. I don't know. I don't know how any of that works, but I mean,
it's good to see though.
Good to see. And I mean, Robbie Smith is elite when he's healthy.
Yeah.
So definitely a player you want on your team. Alrighty. I guess that brings us to an Edmonton sports update. Grey Cup weekend has come and gone. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are the 112th Grey Cup champions, winning out Winnipeg's Princess Auto Stadium against the Montreal Alouettes 25-17. The 18-5-1-1 Edmonton Oil Kings have had a dominant run in BC, however, suffering defeat last night to the Kelowna Rockets 5-2. They'll continue their campaign on Friday in Prince George against the Cougars. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Mountain. Your 9-4 Edmonton Oilers are they did battle the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight on the road. Don't know the results at this very moment. But they will visit the Florida Panthers on Saturday night. Puck drop is at 5 p.m. Mountain for Hockey Night in Canada. The National Lacrosse League will return to YEG for one night only. On January 16th, the Georgia Swarm will host the Calgary Roughnecks at Rogers Place for an honorary Battle of Alberta. Grab your tickets on Ticketmaster.com. Live update. The Edmonton Oilers did lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1.
Yikes.
Very disappointing.
Yikes.
And don't forget that Love Pro Wrestling has events every month with their next main event at the Freemasons Hall on Saturday, November 22nd. CWS Clandestine Wrestling Society event will be at 2 p.m. With tickets as low as $15 for Sky High talent, you don't want to miss out on Love Pro Wrestling this weekend in Edmonton. We're the Elks are up to date. Football Alberta also. Would like to mention this. We'll leave the music on.
You don't have to.
I don't have to, but I'd like to. For Football Alberta, their semifinal weekend is coming up. So the Ernest Manning Griffins will be playing the Harry Ainley Titans at Jasper Place Bowl this Saturday, 3 p.m. And then down south, the Notre Dame Pride will be playing at the Raymond Commons at Comet Stadium, Raymond, Saturday, 1 p.m. So there's your junior update. You're not even junior. That's your Football Alberta.
There you go.
High school update.
Yeah.
We ran the music through. I love it. Very good. A big shout out to the viewers. Shout out you, listener, viewer. This is the Elks Call. You're rocking with the Elks Herd. If you are enjoying the show, please tell your friends.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are enjoying the show tonight, tomorrow, whenever you are enjoying it, if you could please give us a like, subscribe, follow, favorite, all of that jazz. We do have a giveaway at 500 subscribers on YouTube. So we're
forgot about.
We're at 291. We're at 291. We're slowly getting there, but we
sure.
could use some more help. So yeah, shoot us a subscribe, and we will enter you into this draw whenever it may come. We will get there. But next up on the show, let's play some Hot or Not, Green or Gold, sorry. Let's play some Green or Gold, shall we? Which is our take on Hot or Not. Green or Gold is brought to you by our new Oil Kings fan hub, the Royal Line. Cody and Len bring you their fan-sided coverage from outside of the rink. You can find them at the Royal Line on most social media platforms. All right. This is how it works. Green or gold? We are going to bring up a topic or an item. If you like it, you're going to vote gold. If you don't like it, you're going to vote green. Herd chat, you know what to do. Blow it up. Get your vote into the herd chat to have your voice vote. Votes. H-E-R-D herd. Now I'm already. First question here. Give us a green or give us a gold. For the Vanier Cup being on the weekend after the Grey Cup, do you like it being an event separate from the Grey Cup? Is this a green or is this a gold, Catherine?
I'm not sure.
Because there has been talk about the Vanier Cup. I mean, they used to have it on the same weekend as the Grey Cup. They've moved them away from each other.
Well, it makes sense that you would move them away from each other. Otherwise, what if you have families that are Grey Cup people that cannot go to the Grey Cup people because your kid is in the Vanier Cup?
So you're saying it's a
gold. Yeah, probably. I mean, that makes sense. Why have two cups in the same weekend? That's just bad marketing.
Okay, so I'm going to say it's a green, and here is why I'm saying green. Because I like the thought, I haven't gotten to experience it as a fan, but I like the thought of kind of like when we see an outdoor winter classic or heritage classic, they used to do the alumni game the day before, and then the main event on the Saturday or the Sunday or whatever. So the same deal for this, you're looking at in, let's say, Commonwealth Stadium on the Saturday, the Vanier Cup would be played. And then the Sunday, you have the Grey Cup. So everything's already all still up. You have everything up.
But are you saying that it should always be in the same location as the Grey Cup?
It would be cool because then it's a whole weekend. It's an even bigger celebration for that. But
see, that'd be cool because that would be an additional spot to visit. That'd be additional entertainment, but that would be under the Grey Cup still, right? That would just be another little thing that happens in the same weekend of the Grey Cup. So at that point, you're taking away from what the Vanier Cup is.
I like it. That's a very good answer. I mean, I understand why they're separated. I do like the thought of it being an even bigger Grey Cup event, but
but
you know,
that's
because maybe the Vanier Cup gets more viewers in the CFL stadium.
I think it would, but it really truly depends on what kind of what you're trying to do with the Vanier Cup, right? And at that point, it would just be like a secondary thing to the Grey Cup.
That's fair. No, and I think you have some people agreeing with you here in the herd chat. Ryan Nervous says, gold. Grey Cup pulls too many Canadians into it. So, yeah, I mean, John Kirby also says, gold. Make it its own thing. Give it its own weekend. So, and then, Pierre also does say gold. Better to split the events. Yeah, and I mean, I could see that. I see it. I do respect the Vanier Cup quite a bit. I actually know a Vanier Cup champion. I told you about this the other day at work. Yeah. This guy's like, yeah, I won a Vanier Cup. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Yeah, I won a Vanier Cup for football. What? Yeah, I played for the Bisons. Like, what? How come? Yeah, then the guy made it seem like he just played high school football. I'm like, come on, man. You didn't say you were a Vanier Cup champion. Come on.
Just in passing in regular conversation.
It's like, oh, yeah, maybe I'll bring in my ring. Yeah, flexing, buddy. Flexing. Shuttle Grayson.
We do have Game Day Baby over here.
Game Day Baby says gold. Whoa. Alrighty. Okay, so seems like everybody agrees that it should
you're
be
just
separate.
disagreeing for the sake of disagreeing. We know this.
Try to make this a show, okay? And then second question here, everybody. Once again, throw it in the herd chat. MGK's performance at the Grey Cup. I know we've had this as a subject in
green.
Let
me yell that green.
Kathy did not like MGK.
It was boring. I mean, he has I want to make it known that I did not recognize a single one of the songs, but I am the kind of person that will go to concerts not listening prior to the concert. I will not listen to any of the opening band's music because I like to be surprised. I like going to concerts and being like, I don't know anything about this band. I want them to convince me to listen to them. I'm like that, right? And I love it. I have learned about multiple bands that I absolutely love from doing that. I went into this with the same mentality. I don't know anything about MGK. I don't think I know the songs. I want him to convince me to listen to more of his music. He did not. It did not happen. He has a really good voice. I liked his voice, but that performance fell flat. And he was also singing over a track, which I hate.
Yeah, I hear the thing about the vocal track, and I did also hear multiple complaints about that. Now, for me, I'm going to say gold, and the reason why is
because it's what I didn't choose.
No, but the reason why is because a Double E cheerleader up there was eating it up with a spoon. Double E, big on the big broadcast. Our cheerleader was having the most fun out of all of them, and I can respect MGK for the reason of bringing in somebody fresh, not necessarily Canadian. You can only go through Shania Twain so many times, as we said on an episode previous. What do we hear? Okay.
Ryan over here. It was better than I expected, but I think they could have made a better choice for sure.
That's a green.
Yeah, we have a gold from John.
MGK was super amazing. Hopefully, he sells out Rogers Place on December 1st. Catherine, don't know what halftime show you were watching. It was amazing, and he's not a fan, so that's a big old gold from John Kirby. What else do we got here? Pierre Green. This year especially should have been Canadian, and that's probably, has to do with a little bit of the buy Canadian movement we're going through and all of that. Some political strife, as we've called it on the show before. Yeah. So, I mean, I can respect that for sure.
Yeah. I just thought it was a flat performance.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I truly did enjoy his voice. Like I did.
Yeah.
I was just sad that I wasn't. I didn't want to walk out of there and be like, yeah, I gotta listen to more of this. That's it.
Well, the reception was very good online, I will say. Pierre also does say could have had Rush,
They are coming.
but if the Blue Jays didn't get Geddy Lee and the gang back
That's
together
true.
inside of Rogers Center with that performance, I think that was Jonas. If we didn't see Rush there, I don't know if we're going to see Rush on the big stage for the Grey Cup. But hey, I could be wrong, and I would love to see Rush on for a Grey Cup performance. That'd be amazing. Some Tom Sawyer, come on, it'd be amazing. Alrighty, thanks everybody for participating. That was green or gold. John, we did see that you had some questions there in the herd chat. We will bring those up in our next segment, which is our final segment, which is the final regular season segment of the fan forum and really for this entire show. So this fan forum is brought to you by the Argos Fancast. Join Clay, Will, and Sir Doug as they give you the latest from Argos land right here on Shotgun Sports Network. New episode is up because Will and Sir Doug did go to the Grey Cup, so they talk all about it. If you want to hear about all the juicy from the Grey Cup Festival and all of that, you will have to go over to Argos Fancast. And I think next year we may be broadcasting from the Grey Cup. So, yeah, I mean, better luck next year.
Yeah.
On all fronts. Alrighty, guys, in this segment, we are going to talk about the hottest topics surrounding the Edmonton Elks and the CFL world as a whole. Herd chat for the last time tonight. Blow it up. Get your comments and questions into the herd chat. And we'll bring some of those questions up in this segment as well. So let's open it up. The fan forum is officially open. Question number 1. Lately, we have seen fans of other teams canceling season tickets due to a multitude of reasons, pricing being one of them. While the Edmonton Elks raised our regular seats $1 each, with clear communication as to why. Fans are seeing pricing raised without explanation in other markets. So, do you think we will see more fans cancel season tickets, and if so, why? Like, how do you think this offseason is going to be for the CFL and the season ticket holder base?
I'm not sure. Have all CFL teams raised their prices? I mean, you got to account for inflation in some way. Like, really,
correct.
That's normal.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would really account for cancellation of ticket prices unless the increase is like crazy. $1, $2, $10. I mean, that's expected. Really, every single one of my subscriptions have been increased by $1 to $2 every year. Even, how much I complain about Spotify. But anyways, so I don't think it's going to be a matter of pricing unless the pricing increases are outrageous. But I think it's going to be more other factors that may cause cancellations.
So with this one with BMO and Toronto fans, I think Toronto right now is a very volatile market.
Yeah.
Because the Buffalo Bills deal has left some fans soured.
Yeah, we don't know.
Then the CFL rule changes. And then on top of that, MLSE has changed their seating structure where some of those seats that weren't club are now considered club. So therefore the pricing is exponentially increased, much like we saw with the upper bowl to lower bowl fiasco that now fans are going through. So this actually does hit home a little bit. Let's talk about it on the Double E side. The upper bowl seats where they were, what do you call it? The pricing on them, they had transferred that pricing to a similar seat down in that section. They had to move down a section, but they found them as close to a seat as possible to what they had, which upper bowl to lower bowl, you can't compare.
No.
Right? Let's just start there.
Yes.
But on top of that, now this year, the pricing is now reflecting what the current pricing is for those club seats. So same deal.
In Toronto.
Here. They're like a P1 to a P2 now.
Oh, okay.
So they went from being potentially a P3 or P4 or something like that up there.
To now a P1.
And now the pricing is increased. So, I do think pricing is going to be a big one. I think the rule changes, like Game Day Baby is saying here in the herd chat, I think the rule changes will be part of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so. John Kirby also agrees that the rule changes are one of the the reasons, of course. And yes, I mean, this is going to happen. This is going to happen every time that you make changes, right? People are not going to agree with every single change that you make, even if it's for the better of the league, right? Or for in the benefit of the league's interests. But it's expected. It's just a matter of trying to see how much. Like, what's the effect? Is it considerable enough that they have to recognize that those changes were dumb and they got to take them back? Or is it expected and they have accounted for that level of, let's say, attrition, and they could just continue with business as normal?
Well, yeah. And I mean, the way that the rule changes were brought about with Stuart Johnson, we do know that, fans are not the happiest with Stuart Johnson right now. I do think that we should give him some time, right? But we will see fans cancel for any reason. Now, something that somebody from the Double E had explained to me years ago, it might have been Victor Cui, but there are fans, no, I don't think it was Victor Cui, but it was somebody else in the realm, and they'd explained that, look, like, fans that are now canceling their season tickets for what seems like small things, it's because they had one foot out the door.
Yes.
Right? Like, they're looking for a reason to cancel the season. Yeah. See, there's also fans that are protesting with their money as well. And I'm not going to tell anybody how to fan. I'll put that forth right now. Fan how you want. There are fans of the Double E that still watch on TV almost every single game, but they won't step back into the stadium just because of the name. Yeah. So, like, I mean, we see our own stuff here in Edmonton. It's a bit of a bubble itself. Yeah. But when you look at other teams and you look at other organizations such as MLSE, and you take a look at the moves that even they've made as an organization this year, it's a little bit boggling. The Toronto Argonauts and Buffalo Bills relationship thing on a major scale. Yeah. You could be maybe finding other partners, maybe trying to partner up with one of the Canadian other pro sports teams in town or whatever, right? There's other ways to market it. I mean, they are kind of attached to the Leafs and the Raptors and all of that. You could be doing crossover jerseys. You could be doing so many crossover things that I wish we would see here in Edmonton between the Oilers, OEG, the Oil Kings, and the Double E, right? Now they are truly two different sports entities, so you won't see that. But come on, MLSE owns so many other teams. How do you not cross-promote this? And we did see the Argonauts jersey, inspired Springer jersey over at Rogers Center. So they do it from time to time. I do think that before stepping out of your backyard to look for help, I think you could look within the house in the backyard there.
Yeah, but it's what's going to bring the most amount of money.
So. Buffalo Bills game once a year. Like, yeah.
No, they just think, I think we went over that in that sense is because they hope to, that audiences that watch more NFL to CFL will make the jump.
Well, and I would like to bring up John's comment here. There's no issue in Winnipeg, so what are they doing right?
Winning.
Well, winning
they were.
Winning is one, because if you take a look at the Double E, 2015 to 2017, selling good tickets still. Yep. So winning gets your fan base back. That's the first and foremost, winning. But step two, Winnipeg Blue Bombers fans are bigger Blue Bombers fans than they are Jets fans. And that whole province cheers blue and gold. Yeah. They have for years. 100%. It's a very, very dedicated. They are very similar to the Riders in that sense. Now, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 10 years ago, we're seeing 20 to 25K. Yeah. But the fans do show up for those game days.
Yeah. I think, it varies. I think there's a lot of factors. We're going to see people canceling regardless.
One foot out the door in some of these scenarios. And some of them, like, I mean, we'll see with the rule changes. I think if you are canceling your season tickets now before even seeing the changes, I don't think you're giving it a chance. I do think that as fans, we're paying for a product. So is this something that you find entertaining? If the rule changes prove that to be not the case, you don't find it entertaining anymore, then of course, right? Like everybody's entitled to spending their money how they want. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. Yeah.
Baby over here, he does make a really good point. Bombers have very little turnover of players and coaches.
They have had a very consistent core for about 5 years now. Mind you, this is also a winning core.
Yeah, 100%.
So when when the winning core isn't winning anymore, you will see more players exchange. But more player turnover anyways, but Winnipeg truly loves that team. Now, I would, yes, thank you.
He
Let's bring
also
this one up.
says that he would like to cancel TSN because their coverage sucks. I agree.
It's the Grey Cup game, and we have blackouts, constant blackouts, where we think that it's an us problem.
Yeah, we're like,
okay.
what's going on? That we have to reset the router? Like, is it our TV? What's going on? And it turns out that everybody was having these issues.
Yeah, you go on X, and everybody's like, yeah, is TSN blacking out for you? It's like, oh, okay, this is only the biggest broadcast of the year, and it's blacking out. What is going on? Like,
so, if there are times not to do this, it's probably during
the Grey Cup's probably one of them. Yeah, it's your biggest broadcast. Geez. 4 million or something.
And like that's the stuff that you see, you know, when what was the first event that Netflix decided to do live coverage of a sporting event? I think it was like a UFC fight.
Amazon, Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, and then everything crashed horribly because they didn't have the capacity to do it.
We were in Vancouver. That was Jake Paul.
That's Netflix. Yes, Jake Paul.
Yeah.
But that's Netflix. This is TSN. This is a TV broadcasting. You shouldn't have those kind of issues. So then what the heck happened?
Well, John Kirby said that on CTV there's no issues, but then Ryan Nervous says, right, TSN was horrible for such a big
like, Jesus.
So apparently it all depended on where you watch it, CTV for whatever reason, which is supposed to be
gone local.
Well, no, CTV's
well,
local.
But I mean, like CTV Edmonton.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
All right, let's move on here to our second question, and then we'll dig into some comments in the herd chat. Question number 2: the odds makers. Whoever the odds makers are, the odds makers have the Edmonton Elks lowest on the betting odds at plus 1,900 to win the Grey Cup. Looking at the odds alone, the story says the team regresses in 2026. But like by a mile, they're saying that the Edmonton Elks will be worse and will have the lowest chance of making it, well, bringing home the Grey Cup. So do you think these odds are accurate?
No.
So bet Elks.
Who are these odds makers?
Who are they?
Tell me their names. Give me their emails.
Plus 1,900. Like, I mean,
I don't know what that means, but
me neither. But I know that I got to throw a 20 on. Throw a 20 on this at least, because there's a good chance you make some good money on plus 1,900.
Seriously, come on.
If the Edmonton Elks win the Grey Cup.
Regresses, I seriously, I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna make it all the way, but I don't see how they regress.
No.
Like how? Like, I mean, there's still a couple of what ifs. There's still a couple of like questionable moves that we're still waiting to hear. But I don't think that this team regresses. We have seen some really bad Edmonton Elks football a few years ago. I don't think they would go back to that. No.
I don't. Let's put it this way. Like, let's just dumb this rate down for people such as myself who don't bet. But do the Edmonton Elks have the lowest odds of making it to the Grey Cup next year? I'm going to say no.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to say no. Like, I like what John says. The odds makers are from Saskatchewan and Calgary. Oh, you get a horn for that one. That was good.
They just hate Edmonton.
Odds makers hate them. Discover the 10 reasons why. All in the link below. Yeah, no, I don't understand when any of this stuff comes out. Like, even, you know, with the Blue Jays, I think that their odds, they had the best odds to win the World Series next year or something. But like, there's so much stuff that happens in an off season. There's so many things that change.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I mean, just believe for sure. But I mean, that's not going to change my opinion on betting. I'm not going to go ahead and bet because of that. I think it's smart to throw down a 20 if you are a betting man, but at plus 1,900. Do it
now and then forget about it.
Exactly. It's an investment that you forget about. I like that. Some that's
what you do with your investments.
Herd tips. I like it.
Don't follow that. No.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the herd chat here, because I did see some questions. I liked one from Pierre, because Pierre did also have one. Oh, too far. We got a couple still.
Oh, here. This one?
Yeah. For Kathy and Scout, what was the favorite moment of the season? Let's break this up into two pieces. And Herd Chat, you let us know as well. We want to get you in on this one. It's a fun question. Best parts or best moment of the season. Let's just try to keep it to one. What was your favorite Double E memory of the season?
A winning streak at home. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winning streak at home is always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was we felt like we were doing something. Like we felt like as a fan base, the team was going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't felt that for so long. Meaningful games too.
No, it was good. Nice. It was good. It was going to games and walking away feeling happy.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, not angry. I would say my favorite moment of the season, I think it's got to be the Labor Day bus.
Right.
Labor Day bus. EST Labor Day bus. You had to be there. Ended up winning a prize. Had some libations on the way down. Had some libations at McMahon. I finally got to see McMahon for the first time. McMahon Stadium is a dump. Got to see their tailgate, which was nicer than the stadium itself. Chopping up brisket and handing it out to the fellow fans with Dave McKinnon, who cooked it and brought it. Dustin Nielsen being there, all of it. It was a really cool experience. I can't wait for you to go next year. But the Labor Day bus. And then, of course, we got the win on the rematch. And Labor Day, it always should be very special. The Double E were playing meaningful football at that time. Far from out of it, right? Stinker in Calgary, but then the Double E ended up coming back and winning it at home. And that's, for the Labor Day series, that's all that you can ask for in that scenario. It's not like we can sweep Calgary every year like last year, but that was fun.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at John Kirby's question.
What we do have for game day babies. Scout dancing to no.
No.
Like, was that the no music one?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's a classic appearance from my end.
Did we make a reel out of that? I should go back.
You did.
Yes, I did.
You did. Don't worry. Yeah. No music whatsoever. What else do we have? Do we have any other memories? No? Okay. Next question here. What are your thoughts on the upcoming changes to team websites and a new CFL app? So, first of all, if you still have memories, throw them in there because we'll get back to them. But in terms of this, the CFL app, well, it's not like we've had an app for the last, 5 years?
Yeah, no, it's always been
since COVID. I don't think we've had an app.
I didn't even know there was an app before that.
Well, it was because it was before your time as a fan.
Listen, I don't care about a new website or changes to the team websites or new CFL app as long as their information is correct, their stats are correct, and they stop sucking at updating those.
Pretty much. I know that Genius Sports was mentioned in that, so that's a thing.
Please, I don't care where I get my information from. Just make sure that the information is correct.
And I think that the Edmonton Elks website is fine as it is.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I'm not gonna lie. If there's one piece of feedback, because I access that page all the time, is from their team's site when you're accessing the injuries and the transactions and all of that, their logs and it's just the UI, the user interface that they have, it's really off-putting.
I think they'll probably end up updating that.
Yeah.
I think out of anybody, the Double E is one of the better teams with the website.
Yeah.
So do we have anything else here? Okay, so earlier we did ask best moment of the CFL season. Let's talk about the Elks Call now. Best moment of the Elks Call this year, which I was kind of thinking of doing like a thing, like maybe looking through a bunch of our content and figuring out like best guest and all of that. Maybe make like the Hurdy Awards or something, but we'll figure it out. For this one, what was your favorite moment of the Elks Call this year?
don't know. We had some really good guests.
Really good guess.
I don't want to pick a favorite because they were all good.
Well,
Who was your favorite?
Well, what's one that really stood out to you?
Who's your favorite guest so that I can send this to everybody else?
Can't say that. Can't say that. I don't know if I necessarily had a favorite guest. Like Odell Willis was great for his own reasons. Our audio was off for half the year, so the show
that wasn't fun.
No, but I feel like we had a show within those next 3 after we fixed the audio, and it was like lights out. Like just after Graham. I'll take a look, but Herd Chat, do you guys what does anybody in the Herd Chat do you have your favorite moment of the Elks Call at all?
Well, not the Elks Call, but Pierre does say that his wife says her favorite moments was the return of Nanook.
Nanook is back. Nanook
From
is back.
Ryan, Nervous, it's your live podcast from the Flagathon. Yes.
Let's go.
That was a fun one. I loved like maybe we should be more careful about that. I mean, there's something about having children in streams, but they're so much fun.
Oh yeah.
They're so great.
Maybe we'll do a waiver. Maybe we'll do a waiver system to make sure.
Well, the parents were always there supporting and saying, yes, this is okay. But, for legality purposes. But I absolutely love just asking like little mini interviews with children because they're all so good. I love them. They're always so good.
Yeah, and I mean the kids did fantastic. The Flagathon, it's always something that we love to support.
Of course.
Have a blast. It's all in support of the Stollery anyway, so always a great cause. But I mean that the Flagathon, that was a very, very memorable episode here.
We have an idea here. You should broadcast from your tailgate spot.
There is
that's
media restrictions in place.
That is media that is still unfortunately cannot happen.
But you know what?
Hey,
maybe we do a winter tailgate though.
Yeah,
maybe we do that.
Just us in the lonely parking lot in the middle of winter. This is horrible. No.
I love it.
We do have a question from John. What are your plans for the Elks Call and your tailgate spot for the next season?
You know what? That's actually a really, really good question. Going into this season, and I mean, we're not gonna get into the minutia of it, but I will say there is some uncertainty surrounding the Elks Call past this season. We weren't really sure on a couple of things. And the Elks Call will be returning next year in all of its entirety. Shotgun Sports, we may see a little rebrand, some updating of the branding, which we'll talk about, but I know news to you.
First time I heard of this.
I know. Well, we'll see. It's everything is just speculative right now, but we'll see. We may have some slight changes over here at the Elks Call. We may not. We may just go ahead and run it back again next year, right? So
bigger and better.
And there's some jokes, but this is a PG show. The other thing as well is that the tailgate spot is still going to be rolling. Herdy's International is the speculative menu as of right now. Not finalized, but hey, we may see some pasta, we may see some pizza, we may see some tacos, we may see some good old Texas barbecue, you might see some Canadian poutines. We don't know. We don't know exactly what we're going to do yet.
Stay tuned.
Yes. But other than that, I mean, we're excited. December 4th, I know that we said December 3rd was going to be the holiday special. We may actually have to move that to the 4th because I may actually have to work
right.
Wednesday night, unfortunately.
Right.
So
I know what's happening.
So the holiday special will be coming to the Elks Call December 4th, which is a Thursday. Couple of weeks away, 2 weeks away, I believe, right? So
holy Christmas already. We're talking Christmas.
And then Christmas is right around the corner. And Shotgun Sports on Roku would be great, but unfortunately, that costs money, and there's a bunch of other work. And we actually almost got suckered into a trap where somebody almost stole all of our intellectual property through a Roku channel. That's a story for another time, but yes, it has been thought about. And yes, December 6th, the CFL schedule will be out, which unfortunately we'll miss that. we'll miss that by a couple days. But we're going to talk about it. Maybe whip up a quick episode or quick solo broadcast or something like that. Or we'll figure it out. I mean, we'll be tweeting about it. So
Yes.
we always talk about it. Alrighty. I think we are going to officially close the fan forum, and like that, we have made it to the end of the episode. I never did say my favorite moment of the Elks Call. What I'll say maybe is interview with Matthew Wanek, by the way. It was a very good one. It's on point. We were technically, it was our best episode of the year, and I was like, holy cow, we finally did it. That's the one. Yes. Okay. But yeah, anyways, fan forum is closed. End of the episode is here. Jamie Fadoon, we missed you at the Grey Cup as well. We will potentially both be in Calgary. We are in cahoots on that and currently planning for it. Black Friday sales, by the way. If anybody's planning on going to Calgary, I would book that hotel this week. This week or next week. But
yeah.
All right, season 3. Season 3, what can I say? Season EE3 was amazing. The Elks Call is all possible. Thanks to you, the viewer, the listener, Catherine Schrader as well. Let's give everybody the biggest round of applause that we possibly can because, once again, this show does not happen without everybody. So big thanks, everybody, for tuning in with us all season long. We will have a very fun holiday special with a special guest in just a couple weeks, in exactly 2 weeks, I believe. So December 4th, holiday special, tons of giveaways, tons of goodies. Make sure you swing on by the Elks Call for a very festive occasion. And other than that, I mean, we will see everybody next season on the Elks Call. But once again, a big thanks. If you are watching, that's going to be on Shotgun Sports Network on YouTube or on Facebook, which is at the Elks Herd. And if you're listening, you could be listening on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Edmonton Sports Talk, Spotify, wherever you get your ear candy. From the Elks Call, my name is Scout, a.k.a. the rep from Section X.
I'm Catherine, a.k.a. Steven X.
We are the Elks Herd. That was season 3 of the Elks Call, and we can't thank you all enough for riding with us all season long. We'll see you in 2 weeks for a holiday special. Cheers, everybody.
Have a good night.